Coach, when you get this many good players and somebody played so much last year, I'd imagine the practices have gotten better too. Tell me about that, just in terms of being able to get more out of them.
Yeah, practices have been great. We've kept mostly the kind of the top eight guys together largely, just trying to play them in all different combinations, and then the young guys on the second team, they're playing really well. As you saw the other day, they were able to carry it into the game. And then, the red team or the kind of the third team, front office done an incredible job of bringing in guys that just kind of know how to play, fit in, play to their strengths, kind of don't screw up practice, if you will. It sounds kind of harsh, but it's really where you start when you're a young player. And so we've been able to really kind of gel at all three levels.
Did that really show kind of in the opener, Chris? Just, at least offensively, with getting shots, moving the ball, sharing it the way.
Yeah, this is passing and cutting season.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's just hope it lasts till April, and they'll be fine. But guys have been doing a really good job of making the next play, making the right play, and I think something we really talked about, how we make ourselves harder to guard, a little less predictable at times, playing with a little bit more pace. I think feeds that mentality. Like, you just play faster, and then the decision making kind of also picks up. So all those things, and we were good the other day. It's just one game, and I think certainly we had fitness on our side too.
Bones looked really comfortable.
Yeah.
What did you see from him last season as he came in late, and then how was that carrying over?
What we love about Bones is, we just need him to be who he is. He's the range shooter, can create his own shot. He's he's an underrated pick and roll player. I think he's an underrated playmaker. He's always been such a kind of an explosive scorer, but he's got a ton of ball skill. We really needed him to kind of pick up some playmaking duties, and he's done a good job of that. We're just on him all the time to keep fighting on defense. He's got long arms. I think he can really be better there, and he's shown it. So, he's just kind of a guy you can swing the ball to. He'll make a 28-footer. So,
a lot of summer league, Rob, it was talked about just making the right play, playing within the offense. Now that you've had a chance to kind of rewatch the last game, how do you feel Rob did, just controlling the pace?
Yeah, it's mostly good. A lot of good. Some stuff to work on. Formula for Rob is pretty easy. Create pace, get to the paint, create for your teammates. Be ready to make shots off the ball particularly when you're playing out there alongside guys like Julius and Andrew are going to have the ball in their hands a lot. If you keep it simple and you use your speed, which is what we need you to do, and what you have naturally comes to you. And he's such a really good passer. He had 9 assists the other day, and he just has to keep playing like that. And that's the type of player we really need.
Chris, last season, the lineup set at Nas, Dante, and Nikhil drove a lot of winning for you in kind of those second unit, mixed units. I know you talked a lot about replacing Nikhil, but is it different than replacing kind of the power of that second unit, or how have you aimed at that?
I think it's I really can't answer that question. It's obviously a real stat, but it remains abstract in the face of what we're trying to do this year. We feel TJ can bring us a lot of things. We feel like he'll drive winning too. What those lineup combinations work out to be exactly, we're not 100% sure. I do love the fact you have Dante and Nas, like 2 starter caliber players that are in the unit, so they should drive winning. And they're both pretty much, you put them in a lot of different combinations and they end up being net positive. So hopefully they'll be able to carry some of these young guys when they're playing alongside of them, and we feel confident they will.
Kind of speaking of Nikhil, he had such a role as kind of the consistent behind-the-scenes guy with this team. Have you noticed anyone kind of stepping up into that role, more of kind of that leadership behind the scenes that he had?
No, I mean, I don't think we need leadership behind the scenes. We've got great leadership out front right now. Anthony's been doing a heck of a job. Julius's leadership has been great. You know, so I feel like we've got that covered.
Chris, TJ's playmaking, are you seeing like
Yeah.
the 4 assists that he had? It seemed like good timing and
Yeah,
able to find guys.
yeah. He's been doing that all. You know, we saw that a ton last year in practice. It's what we really need him to do more of. It was outstanding the other night. You know, he didn't score it efficiently, but he had such an impact on the game in so many ways, which we love. And we need that. And we saw it last year in practice at times when third team that he was on early on, even in training camp, like didn't have a natural point guard. He was able to like kind of take over and make the plays.
If you guys are healthy for every game, you got a lot of guys that have shown that they can play at this level, et cetera. How do you do that as a head coach to make sure they stay engaged when they're not in the rotation for a week or something?
Yeah, I think role acceptance is going to be huge for us. We feel like we know we're gonna have an 8-9 rotation for sure. Probably could push to 10. But whoever plays at 9 and 10 might be different every night amongst a small group of guys. So they got to be ready. They got to, stay sane and stay focused on, what the main task is, and that is trying to advance this team and win.